basically, I have done my post-graduation in computer applications. I started off my career as a computer faculty NIT in Calcutta. I was there for about, I think, a year. After which I got married quite early. After the marriage, we went to the US. We were there for 2 years. There I got an opportunity to work as a project analyst in the University of Vermont. I was basically with the Office of Sponsored Programs over there, so it was more to do with research and awards, and writing awards and that kind of stuff. So they had a legacy system which they wanted, converted into Parallel and Oracle. So it was like moving something old to something new. So I was in charge of the whole thing single-handed. A lot of interaction with the people over there. And in that 2 years, I had my first kid, my daughter. After which I started thinking, that really, if I want to continue with this, yes, no. And finally, I put down my parents and I said, no, I'm quitting. Then we came back to India. Even then, I was contemplating whether should I join back with a full-time job or not. So somehow I couldn't do that. So I picked up a couple of freelance assignments, both in software development and course content development. At the same time, I also decided to continue my further studies. That's when I did my post-graduation. It was 3 years. After that, we again got to go to the US. So we were there for almost a year in New Jersey. Then I didn't do anything because I wanted my daughter to acclimatize to that place and really understand things. I wanted to be there for her. Within a year, we were again back. And that's when I joined a company, a content management company called Pepper Square, as their tech lead. And that's when I realized I was pregnant again. So I knew what was coming, I knew that it would be soon that I have to put my purpose down again. But I worked there for almost 8 months. And then I said quits and I had my little one, and that's when I used to talk to Usha quite often, one of my best friends.
We've actually known each other for a while. I think our daughters brought us together.
Yeah.
Both our daughters are the same age.
Yeah. So that's when I was talking to her. She said, no, Priya, come what may, I don't want you sitting just like that. I think you need to do something, don't waste yourself this way. And then she introduced me to Chillibreeze, gave me the web address and said, why don't you just do it, let's see what happens. And Chillibreeze immediately responded. I started as a tech writer basically. And now I've got into the sales team, still in the learning process. And I'm looking out for a long-term relationship with the company.
Okay, briefly, I've been associated with writing for as long as I remember. I think started out in class 6 with an English teacher whom I loved. And then she got me into writing, and then somehow I've been writing all the time and never stopped. So I've been writing. I started my career as a journalist in the business world, long ago in the 90s. And then I was with them for a couple of years, little more than a couple of years, and then I quit to join Crystal because I wanted to get into a little more analysis. Journalism was very temporary in the sense that it was a fortnightly magazine, so it was more newsy than analysis, and I never went into it for the news. It was always the analysis that caught me. So I moved to Crystal, and I was with them for about a year and a half. That's when I thought that I was doing all this with a Bachelor of Arts economics degree. So it struck me that I needed a little more education behind me. And then I quit to join ICFAI. They offered a twin program, which was an MBA and a CFA. So I did both of that. And since I wanted to start a family, I knew very well that this is all after marriage, post marriage. So I wanted children, not one. I wanted children. So I said, no, now I need to get into consulting. I'd rather do it as a freelancer. So I never really held down a job that is for many years. So I joined Monsanto's with them for about, again, a couple of years, and I had my first child with her. So I decided to take a break. But I never really took a break from work. I was always freelancing, always. That's something my husband keeps pointing out. The minute the child turned, with each child, 3 months was my cutoff, because by then I was very antsy. I had to get back to work. So when she turned 3 months, I started freelancing. So always been freelancing with MR firms, doing their reports for them or writing articles and so on. And my experience with freelancing has been so mixed. It's been a mixed bag. The one thing I knew is that you get a lot of work if you're really keen. But you don't get payments on time, and you don't get good payments. So that was the first thing. I think I mentioned it a couple of times to Rajan. You don't find companies that offer freelancers the kind of respect or the kind of security that Chillibreeze offers. And I think that's a big draw to freelancers. And that's what I think keeps them coming back for more. more work. I think Vilasni is like, I think Vilasni, Padma, all of you must be bombarded with writers who come back and say, give me more work. So that's about it now. I'm basically working with business writing more often than not, and I'm hoping to take on India reports, starting now, and then see what we can do with it. I came across Chillibreeze it's a funny story, so I thought I'd share it with you. I had applied to Naukri, and I very clearly said on-site, off-site is no problem. Has to be Bangalore, has to be part-time. I'm not willing to give more than 4 hours. And I knew it would never come. I mean, because I'm the kind of profile nobody is interested in. And I keep getting these strange kind of ads that keep throwing at me from strange companies, all software, and I'm like, as tech phobic as you can get. I can't even SMS well. I said, no. So I normally, if I see some very software-ish name, I'd immediately delete it from my mailbox. Initially, I'd open it and I'd say, do you know C2, J2, E, Java, and it's completely out of my realm, so I'd just knock it off. And then I saw stylus systems. I said, this is again another software. Something made me open that mail. Normally, I would delete it without opening that mail. And I opened this mail and it immediately directed me to the Chillibreeze, and I said, hey, this is interesting. And then I saw Northeast and I said, now I'm hooked. I have to meet these people. So I have a lot of friends from the Northeast. My college is chock-a-block with people from the Northeast. So yeah, I was very close to their sensibility. I mean, I understood where they came from, and so I was very keen to look at this. Then I saw articles on solar cooker, then I saw Northeast, and I saw threads of India, and then threads of the Northeast, and everything. And I said, okay, let me just talk. And that's how I came and met Vilasni and Ralph and Joanna. And then it's been 11 months since Joanna.